You're dangling from a rain-soaked monastery wall in Northumbria. And right now, your life choices feel like a terrible mistake. The stone crumbles beneath your fingers like stale bread, and below you, a dozen angry Anglo-Saxon guards are arguing whether to turn you into a pincushion or just let gravity finish the job. Decide quickly, farm boy. Ben Ironhand growled from the longship rocking in the harbor below. Prove you're worth a place on my ship, or swim back to Norway. Suddenly, your quiet life herding sheep doesn't sound so bad. At least, until you remember how they ate your best tunic. The crew is already betting rations on whether you'll survive. About as useful as a chocolate axe, someone shouts. You'd be offended if you weren't so busy trying not to die. The elder said the gods chose you for this raid. Funny how they always choose the scrawniest farmer sons, instead of their own well-fed children. Above you, a golden cross gleams in the stormlight, probably wondering how its peaceful monastery life turned into a Viking recruitment test. But if you're going to die anyway, you might as well do it in style. Because unlike those farming games you used to play, this one has no reload button. You somehow manage to steal the cross, and only take one arrow in the leg doing it. But now comes a real challenge, proving you belong on a ship full of professional lunatics. First lesson, everything on a longship is trying to kill you. The ropes, the oars, the waves, and especially that suspiciously smiling veteran helping you. Row faster, sheep hugger. Ben roars. The oar fights you harder than your old ram during shearing season, and your muscles scream like they're being murdered by angry trolls. This isn't farm work. The ship lurches violently, and your breakfast decides it prefers life in the ocean. The crew find your suffering hilarious. Half of them say you'll die by Tuesday. The other half say Wednesday. Only half Dan bets you'll survive. I want enough silver to buy my own ship, he grins, tapping the metal plate in his skull. Look, he's feeding the fish again. There's even a betting pool on how many times you'll throw up before reaching Denmark. The current record is 17. You're determined to break it. Training isn't much better. That's your head, not your sword arm. Your instructor snaps as you nearly decapitate yourself. I've seen better footwork from a three-legged goat. Bruises map your body like constellations. Old Helga, the healer, has only 2 treatments. Rub it with fermented fish, or wait until it falls off. You're never sure if she means a wound, or the limb. Still better than farming, though at least here, when something tries to kill you, it's honest about it, and strangely, you start getting better. Your sword no longer feels like dead weight. You finally learn which end of the axe is dangerous. Even Ben notices. Well, farm boy, he grunts, after you block his attack without falling overboard. Maybe you won't die immediately. From him, that's practically a compliment. Your first raid comes sooner than expected. The target, a quiet coastal village. Remember, Ben says, we're here to raid, not redecorate, and try not to die. Everything turns to chaos. Steel clashes, men shout, your heart pounds. You swing your sword because your life depends on it. Because it does. You spot an enemy flanking Ben, and without thinking, you slam him into a pile of fish. Nice move, farm boy. Ben laughs. Next time, less fish, more sword. From that day on, you earn a reputation. The Viking who saved Ben, who smells slightly like herring. Not exactly legendary, but it's a start. Then comes winter, and suddenly, raiding isn't the hardest part anymore. The cold bites harder than any enemy. Your beard freezes solid. Icicles hang from it like decorations. This is nothing, Eric says proudly. Last winter was so cold. We had to warm our words by the fire before anyone could hear them. The solution to everything? Mead, or fermented fish that smells like death took a holiday in a barrel. Years pass. You survive storms, battles, terrible food. Eventually, you earn your own ship, your own crew, and a new name. You're not farm boy anymore. Now, you're Storm Rider. One day, during a raid, you see him, a young recruit, dangling from a wall, just like you once were. Give him a chance, you say. He barely makes it. You help him up. First lesson, you tell him the ground is harder than it looks. Then you see them. Arrows. Too many. Too fast. You shove the boy aside, just as the first volley hits. The arrow that finds your chest feels less painful than the irony. After everything you survived, this is how it ends. The boy tries to save you. Poorly. Stop fussing. You mutter, I've had worse. You haven't, but dying men get to lie. The sky darkens, and then you see them, Valkyries, descending through the storm. Beautiful, terrifying, perfect. You think about it all. The battles, the storms, the endless, horrible fish. And you laugh. You know what the worst part of being a Viking is. A pause. The dying is the easiest part. The last thing you see is the boy holding your sword, like it might bite him, just like you once did. The Valkyries reach you. Time for your final raid. To Odin's Great Hall. Not bad for a farm boy who once thought the scariest thing in the world was angry sheep